that acted very much like today's taser. But the voltage from the wand would cause immediate cardiac arrest, and the victim's death would be attributed to natural causes. We silenced countless victims, not only men, but women of all ages and even teenagers. The following day, after each kill, our memories were reset, so we would have no recollection of the murders. A good majority of the victims were ufologists and whistleblowers. Among the ufologists I personally silenced were Paul William Cooper, Milton Vigay, Claude Monroe, Anthony Vargas, and noted documentarian Samantha Willis. When my wand malfunctioned with Samantha, I resorted to strangulation. She fought for her life for almost 2 minutes. In recalling this act, I stared into her pleading eyes for the entire duration with absolutely no remorse, guilt, or feelings. That was how effective the mind conditioning was. And it's her face that haunts my dreams more than anyone's to this day.
So they stuffed out a documentarian?
Yep.
Well, that's not good to hear.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on. In 1954, Dwight Eisenhower signed what's known as the Granada Treaty with the alien gray race. In exchange for shared alien technologies, the Greys were allowed to abduct a number of humans annually for medical examination. The Greys also demanded anonymity from the public. A short time later, human technology took a giant leap forward with circuit chips, fiber optics, and lasers. The Granada Treaty is still active today, but the number of human abductions has increased, despite objections from the world governments. Now, the really interesting part. Every year, at least 8 million children go missing in the world. I can attest that 1/3 of them are abducted by government operatives and transported to any one of the 1,477 underground military installations on the planet, then imprisoned for the remainder of their lives. The children are subjected to biological and genetic experiments, dissections, and mutilations performed not by human scientists, but an alien gray species. During my stay at the Vanguard Underground Base north of Phoenix, Arizona, I witnessed many of these procedures. Because there was no form of anesthesia administered to the young patients, the halls reverberated with the screams of tortured children from morning to night. The ones that perished were incinerated in the installation's crematorium.
You think they killed him because he killed his people? Hell no! They killed him because, listen to me real good, he touched my nerve with that question. Did you know that in Libya, nobody's homeless? Listen, everybody in Libya has either a home or an apartment. They call it a flat. Did you know education in Libya is free? From kindergarten through college? And did you know that if a Libyan wanted to come to America to be educated, the government in Libya paid for their education? Did you know that? I was there when he opened a $500 million hospital with 18 theaters for operation. I was there, and we went when he was making their own medicines. See, this was a man that gave free medical attention to all the citizens of Libya. And if Libya did not offer that kind of medical attention, they could fly anywhere in the world and get it, and the Libyan government would pay for it. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Did you know that from the oil money, every Libyan citizen got a stipend every year? And did you know that that man had no debt? everything in his country was paid for. See? Now, when you got a man that did that for an African nation and was trying to do that for all Africa, how do you think Europe felt about that?
Now tell me you guys remember this video.
But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. He made $500 million. They said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say? They said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home.
After watching that, it really got me thinking. Because we know that most of these celebrities are into some weird stuff, right? But only a select few get exposed. Now, we all know what Michael Jackson is known for, or what he allegedly did. Look at this.
I've generated several $1 billion for Sony. Several billion. They never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it.
Does anybody see where I'm going with this? The media pushed and pushed and pushed propaganda about Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, the first
Click.
man to clone himself, is now suing himself for molesting himself.
What did you do with Sue?
Scary Movie 3.
I don't believe you. Please, for God's sakes. She's a girl.
I done touched on everything but little boys. That's not a stab at Michael.
And there are literally countless examples of this. Michael Jackson is one of the biggest stars of all time. And with that comes influence that he would have on the people, right? And if he's not doing what they want him to do, their only option is to discredit him. Really makes you think about all the other celebrities that they had to discredit.
Well, let me tell you something from what's happening right now. They're scared. The cabal is scared. They are doing everything they can to collect as much revenue as possible right now. And they are attacking you to do it. They're attacking everybody hard. The numbers are up so high since Biden took office from Child Protective Services alone that I can't hardly stand it. Oh, it's got my blood boiling. I'm so pissed. What if I told you that the last numbers I saw was over 2,200 children a day? Yep. No, this has nothing to do with Mexico. This is you guys in this room, parents, grandparents, grandkids. If you walk around the city of Phoenix, block by block, and knock on doors and ask them one question, and I challenged a group down there to do it, and they did it. In fact, they committed 4 Saturdays in a row, 8 hours a day, to this experiment. And they walked block by block by block, knocking on doors, asking the people one simple question. Have you or any of your immediate family had any issues or any contact with Child Protective Services? And the answer came back that 1 out of every 4 households. Wow. 1 out of 4.
Is there any kind of report we could go to or any kind of a research paper on this? We would love to see it.
There's a lot of reports. I get state-by-state reports. I get state-by-state reports of how many children disappear out of the system. In Arizona alone, it averages between 60 and 70 children a month disappear out of their system.
And who's their system? You mean CPS system?
CPS. What happens is Child Protective Services takes children. They put the parents through services. Hell is more like it. They contract for services for 18 to 24 months. Then, while the parents are jumping through every hoop they can and spending their life fortune, and they can't work because they're in family court all the time, and they're having to go see psychologists all the time, and taking drug tests and all the other manner of things that they have you do. After 18 to 24 months, they terminate the parental rights. They put the children in foster. Then a guardian ad litem shows up a couple months later and moves them from one foster care to another, and then to another. And then the parents, and as soon as everybody they feel has lost track of these children, that had any relationship to these children, the guardian ad litem shows up and removes them. And then somehow their file gets deleted with the state, and they disappear out of the system. And then where do they go? Well, just recently, about 2 months ago, I found 5 children that were removed from one family that disappeared out of the system. And when we took a team in there and we rescued them, there's 4 traffickers that are in heaven right now. But we rescued, turn it down. Is it too loud?
No. They're not in heaven. I said they were in hell.
Well, yeah, we know that. God's going to judge them and throw them where he wants. It's up to him. It ain't up to me. I'm just going to arrange the meeting if I can. I'm a facilitator. Just arrange the meetings. But it was actually 5 children. We got 4 alive and 1 dead in the trunk of a car. And it was one of the most emotional weekends. If you've ever hugged a husband and wife who have been through that, it's pretty awful. On May the 4th, on the 44th birthday of the gal that was being groomed to be the head queen mother of the Illuminati here in the United States, who, by the way, has been helping us, and she's not in that anymore. She escaped from it. But the Illuminati likes to rub it in. So on her 44th birthday, at an address 4414 in Baltimore, Maryland, they sacrificed 44 children. Now the problem is this: we finally decoded everything and got the information at 9 p.m. Their meeting started at 10. By the time we assembled teams and got them there, it was 6 a.m. It was too late. Because between 10 and 3 a.m., they sacrificed 44 children in honor of her birthday. And you've never seen somebody cry so much in your whole life as her, and what they did in her name. Okay? And we got there in just enough time to collect the forensic evidence. And that sucks. Because had we known a few hours earlier, they held off to the last minute to communicate. Normally they communicate, we decipher their communications, we uncode their messages, and we can arrive in time. Because they're communicating amongst themselves, and we discover it. And we get there in time. But they held off communication. They knew what they were doing. They knew we'd figure out their language very quickly. And their language is not easy to uncode. In fact, I can show you a picture of it. It looks pretty bad. And that's the kind of thing that happens, and it drives me crazy.